Okay, so you're the seller. Ring, ring, ring.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, is this June?
Yeah, this is June. Who's this?
June, hi, this is Carolyn Young. Hey, I'm giving you a call because I noticed your house come off the market last week, and I'm just wondering, is it still for sale?
No, we changed our mind. This is just a bad market.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to ask you, so if that sale were to work out for you, where were you moving to?
Well, I think we were going up north because I want to be near my family.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Well, what a great time of year to sell in your market because we're high season right now. So let me ask you a question. What is stopping you from moving forward?
Well, we didn't get the price I wanted, so I'm in no hurry, and we have a place to go.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I am an expert in this market, and I know this market so well. If it's possible, I would love to stop by. I just care about people in my market, and I just want to make sure you're getting the best service possible. And if anyone in my market wants to sell and they can't sell, I want to make sure I'm able to at least show them some other options. I'm going to be in the area on Friday or Saturday. Absolutely no obligation, June, but would you mind if I just stopped by to share with you some things that maybe you were missing, just in case it's a possibility?
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt, but I'm not going to sell. But
That's no problem. No commitment, no problem.
All right.
Look forward to seeing you on Saturday noon.
Now, in fairness, this is like her third time on the podcast.
I know.
Hey, welcome back to the show. What if I told you I have 3 experts that will list this year? I'll combine about 500 listings. And yes, 500 listings in this environment with low inventory, high interest rates, and beyond uber competitive situations just like you. So my advice is you buckle up, you start taking some notes, because I've got Carolyn Young, who between her and her team this year are going to take a combined 260 listings. I've got Kathleen and Scott from their team who are going to do about 240 listings. I think that's 500 on the nose. And we want to unpack, where are they getting these appointments? How are they getting these appointments? And then when they're there, what are they doing to win beyond just the obvious what most people can do, which is just reduce your fees and give away the farm and list it at an obnoxious price so you can walk away from this show with exactly what you need. So Kathleen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
Bananas.
How long have you been in the business?
8 years.
8 years. And how long have you been listing properties?
4 years.
Okay, so 4 years. So Scott, give us some context because you're running the team. Kathleen is your number one listing agent.
Yep.
How long in the business? Where do you guys work? How many transactions are you going to do this year?
We'll close 500 transactions this year.
Okay.
I've been in the business for 21 years.
Okay.
And what was that?
Where's your office? Where are you guys
Oh,
located?
Vero Beach, Florida.
Where
East
is
Coast.
Vero Beach?
East coast of Florida, south of Orlando, and north of West Palm. Little beachside town.
Love it, love it, love it. And just for context, average sales price?
About $450.
Okay, so about $450, so very relatable for everybody across the board, but some high-end homes that I know you guys service as well. Carolyn Young, right? Just coming off, a remarkable year last year, but here we are. It's June as we're filming this. This will be published in July. Give some people some context. How long in the business? How many transactions are you going to do this year? And you said again, 260 combined between you and your team on listings. So give them a scoop.
Yes. So this year, my goal is to hit 600 transactions. And we currently, we'll end up on about, because of what we're pacing this year, we'll go on about 300 listing appointments. We'll list about 270 homes, and we'll sell somewhere in the neighborhood of 240 to 250.
Okay, got it. So some people are going to ask the obvious question, and I know you have the same. You're going to have 30 or 40 listings that aren't going to sell this year in this market?
No, because this is the thing. They're all going to sell. There's some people that things happen, right?
Yes.
Life happens
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
And, but there are always, my goal is always like if people are waiting to do something, like as I get into October, November, and December, I'll go into January with like 40 listings in my pocket.
Yes.
So I say, let's list now, pre-market over the spring. So in January, February, I'm ready to roll.
Got it. Scotty, same question?
Because
you kind of said, hey, well, we're going to list this many, but they're not all going to sell this year.
Right, and some of them obviously some of them won't sell because they expired, or like you said, life happens, they take it off the market, or what. But we sell 85% of the ones that get listed.
Got it. Okay, so let's talk about, we're talking about, 300 listing appointments. I'm guessing somewhere in the same range if you're going to list 240 properties. That is a lot of listing appointments. The guy or gal listening right now, they're trying to figure out how to get like 2 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're already at 2 a month, they're like, how do I get to 4 a month? So let's have a quick conversation. Like, if you were nurturing somebody on your team, or you were starting over in a new market and you knew you needed to get 2 to 4 listing appointments a month in this crazy competitive environment,
Mm-hmm.
Kathleen, you're first. Where are the listing appointments coming from, and how are you getting them?
I am making my calls.
To who?
To expires and withdrawns, because we do have those right now.
Okay.
I am calling old expires and withdrawns that were on the market previously,
Okay.
circle prospecting, and past clients in the sphere. We're doing keeping in touch, working all the touches
Okay.
with our past clients, and doing the Zillow. What do you think of the Zestimate? And
Yes. Okay, are you shocked? Because it sounds like the same exact sources where
I
your
was
business is
just going to say ditto.
so let's play a game. Ready? You're the expired listing. You're making the phone call. Ring, ring, ring. You're the expired.
I am the
You're the expired. You're the seller. She's the
okay.
agent.
Hi, this is Carolyn.
Oh, hi, Carolyn. This is Kathleen with Compass. I was calling to see. I'm really so nervous.
That's all right. You're only
I
happy.
noticed your
so
home
many
is
people
no
watching.
longer
Go.
on the market. I was calling to see if you still wanted to get it sold.
No, we don't. We took it off.
Oh, I can appreciate that. What happened when you were on the market?
Yeah, we didn't sell, and so we're just going to hang on and wait until the market improves a little bit.
Okay, and where were you going if you did sell?
We had our dream of downsizing, but with these high interest rates and stuff, I think we're just going to stay put and let the market calm down.
Well, if I could take 15 to 20 minutes of your time and show you what the market's doing, and possibly I am so nervous.
Don't be. Just keep going. It's okay. You're doing great.
Okay. Well, actually,
So if I can get 15 minutes of your time.
And meet with you just to show you what's going on in our market, because we just sold your neighbor's house down the street. Would that make a difference to you if we could show you what we did over there?
Do you have a buyer? No, that sounds good. She's in the whole right conversation. You got the whole right
All right,
conversation. I
ready? Okay,
agree.
so we're gonna flip it. Ready? You're the expired. You're the agent.
Thank you.
Ready? This is great. Then
I have a
go.
quick question.
Go.
If we would have brought you an offer last week, what would you done with it?
That
Price.
is one you can use.
All right, let's keep going. Okay, so you're the seller. Ring, ring, ring.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, is this June?
Yeah, this is June. Who's this?
June, hi, this is Carolyn Young. Hey, I'm giving you a call because I noticed your house come off the market last week, and I'm just wondering, is it still for sale?
No, we changed our minds. It's just a bad market.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to ask you, so if that sale were to work out for you, where were you moving to?
Well, I think we were going up north because I want to be near my family.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Well, what a great time of year to sell in your market, because we're high season right now. So let me ask you a question. What is stopping you from moving forward?
Well, we didn't get the price I wanted, so I'm in no hurry, and we have a place to go.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I am an expert in this market, and I know this market so well. If it's possible, I would love to stop by. I just care about people in my market, and I just want to make sure you're getting the best service possible. And if anyone in my market wants to sell and they can't sell, I want to make sure I'm able to at least show them some other options. I'm going to be in the area on Friday or Saturday. Absolutely no obligation, June, but would you mind if I just stop by to share with you some things that maybe you were missing, just in case it's a possibility?
I guess it wouldn't hurt, but I'm not going to sell.
That's no problem, no commitment, no problem.
Okay.
Look forward to seeing you on Saturday noon.
Now, in fairness, this is like her third time on the podcast.
I know.
So, all right. So the first thing is you're calling expires, and the person listening right now, and Scott, back me up on this. There's going to be a lot of people who say there's no expires in my market, and yet, if you really pay attention, there's expires in every market. Now, it might be slim pickings, but the biggest issue is going to be how do you stand out amongst the competition to even get the appointment. Scott, you got an opinion on that?
What I hear over and over is also being consistent on the follow-up, because they'll make the first call one reason or another, they can't get the appointment, but I know I watch Kathleen for years sometimes, follow up with people to get the appointment, and that consistency, we'll get it.
Yes. Is it a scheduled thing for you, or is it a CRM thing for you? Is it just because you're a former teacher and you pay attention to details? What is it?
I have a schedule and I make my calls in the morning. In fact, if I miss that time slot, it throws me off. And it's like 8:30 to 10:30. I'm not allowed to check my emails, answer my phone. Sometimes I put the phone in the other room.
Smart.
And so it's very scheduled and calling the same people. Some of my listings are people that screamed at me and told me that they're
Sure.
that never to call them again, and then
Yes.
and we've listed them. So.
And you have 16 active listings as we film this right now.
Yes,
So,
and the majority of those are expired and withdrawn listings.
okay. Scott, you were to say?
And I think being empathetic, because it's tough right now. And Carolyn, you touched on that. Just really being empathetic,
Helpful.
caring, being helpful, being a resource. I think that's one of the things I see our team, and I'm sure your team does, is demonstrating, caring for the clients.
Compassion. I mean, if you think about and again, we're going to shift away from experience in a minute, but you think about the scenario, we put our home on the market, we were all excited, we want to move closer to our family, we go through 3 months, 6 months, it doesn't work out. That is a frustrating experience, right? So I think, starting out with that empathetic, I care, if it's genuine and it's real, it's going to resonate for more people, right? Let's switch gears. What are you doing right now to get listings from your past clients in Spirit? You mentioned my favorite all-time campaign, so I want you to go first. Right, so for the person listening, what I've been telling people is, whether you like Zillow or not doesn't make a difference, and Zillow's prices are almost always wrong, so we're actually going to use that to our advantage. Zillow's a verb for a lot of people, so I say, take a screenshot of their home on Zillow, the Zestimate, text it to them, and any variation of, hey Scott, I was thinking about you today, I was on Zillow, saw your home, I've got my opinion on this price, what do you think? Are you sending something like that?
Yes, because I got that from you.
We're good. You're coachable. I love it. Okay. So how many of you sent approximately? What kind of response are you getting? Is it working?
I've sent approximately 50, and I've gotten, most of my responses are, we're not selling,
Sure.
but thanks for checking in. And most of them, because I have them on a little alert and touched annually on what their value is already, kind of knows that this estimate's not accurate.
Okay.
So.
Like on a home bot as an example, or a milestone, some way to
Right, on their anniversary of the closing.
So what is working today beyond that, which sounds like you're just keeping people informed, which is always good.
Mm-hmm.
What else is working?
Well, just reaching out to them and saying, do you know someone coming from service, like a place of service?
Yeah.
So when I'm having a conversation with them to catch up, see how their life is going, I used to be afraid to ask for business.
Yes.
And I kept hearing you say it over and over. And so now I'll ask, is there anyone I can help that I can help with buying or selling?
Good.
And so they do then say, a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, because I'm asking the question.
Right. They have an answer. Okay. Scott, is there anything more that you want to unpack around past clients in Sphere? I'm going to assume they're getting emails. They're getting calls, right?
Events.
The whole team,
Client
parties and events.
Yeah.
So for
Equity
the person
reviews.
listening, talk about that, equity reviews. What's something that they're not doing?
I think, so when we're talking with our agents of having them have the equity reviews with their client, and that opens up opportunity, whether they may or may not want to sell. That's okay. But they may want to invest.
Yes.
And so they may want to tap, some of the equity to buy a rental property or buy a second home or vacation home. But you're just being a financial advisor, being a partner of theirs, and being part of their life. And it may not be the right time right yet, but you're being present, you're being there, and then you'll know when to check in with them the next time.
I heard a line last week, and then I'm going to come to you with tactically what else you guys are doing. Was drop past.
Oh yes,
They're just clients.
Yeah,
They're just clients. Stop calling them past clients.
Right.
They are clients of yours, and you have a fiduciary responsibility to stay informed. Kids, you know what I mean? Like say, my financial planner from JP Morgan just texted me today. Hey man, thinking about you, just checking in. Right now, I know ultimately he wants me to buy more stuff or invest more stuff, but he's a dude. He's just checking in. We're staying connected. What is working tactically right now? Is email working? Is text working? Is phone calls working? Is events working to get so many listings from past clients?
So I think there's always a lot that we can do, and because
Yes.
of the last conference I went to and we shared Care Bear,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
hired one a couple months ago. So
Shout out, exactly.
that
Yes, yes,
was
Care Bear.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, but basically we're trying to take all of our clients and make it like a really, really good experience for them. Like, you know, if you're buying a home sight unseen, you can't get there for 2 weeks, guess what? Let's go buy and check on the house for you on day of move-in.
Yes.
We send
Yes.
pizza. So we're making it like really, really personable. And a lot of people are like, I didn't even know agents do this kind of stuff. So I say, you know, hey, anybody you have that needs, you know, this type of service, keep us in mind. So we're asking for referrals a lot more.
Unpack what a Care Bear is, and I'm trying to find her channel. Really
Yeah,
fast.
well, you did.
Yes.
You did this. We
She
took
was
that
unbelievable.
and listened to it like 5 times.
Okay, hold on, I'm pulling up. Okay, so what is a Care Bear and what do they do?
So a Care Bear is basically a client care coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, Tom, you know, I kind of do things and then just build it. I just hired her and she's helping me build it.
Yes.
But right now, as soon as one of our sellers go under contract, honestly, we're doing it with our buyers too. When they go under contract, she gets the timeline. She sees it. It's like, okay, if it's a quick move, hey, we know you're moving quick. Do you need movers? Is there any work you want done? Can we go set up the contractor? We'll meet them for you. On move day, who's moving you? How's it happening? They, oh no, we're covered. That's great. Well, the first weekend we want to send something out for Saturday for lunch or something. Like, we're just making it a very personable experience.
So shout out to Lisa Munoz, right?
Yes.
To find her. So if you're listening to this,
It's a great podcast.
First, I interviewed her on the podcast. It was amazing. I wanted to get her Instagram account, which is Find Your Austin. So I don't want to misquote the numbers, but she basically said, hey, last year we got like 97 referrals directly from Care Bear. Care Bear is a part-time person who used to be a transaction coordinator for her. And then she was like, you know what, she just has too big of a personality. I think her secret sauce is going to be like loving on her clients, gives her a small budget, and you just do those little things. So that's starting to pay off.
Oh, it's awesome.
Okay, so let's switch gears. We're in an uber competitive environment. There are people that will do nefarious things to win listings every single day in every market around the world. My question for the three of you is, what do you do first and foremost to prep yourself? And then what do you do to prep the client so when you walk in, however you do it, there's just a degree of separation from the very beginning if in fact you're competing on that listing?
Imagine if you could sit down over the course of 3 days with 82 different agents and team leaders who combined sold more than 6,000 homes in the last 12 months, where they broke down in detail how they generate a steady flow of listings in this market. Everything from the marketing they use, the checklist to get it done and organized and be consistent, the scripts and dialogues, the follow-up strategies, the tools, and more to implement it. That is my promise of this year's Success Summit. In this environment, you can no longer be asking yourself how. Instead, you've got to find plays that work and simply run them. Race to tomferry.com, book your reservation, make sure that you absolutely position yourself above and beyond in your marketplace, truly becoming the market of one.
So you want to go first? What do you do to prep yourself, and what do you do, if anything, to prepare the client before you get there?
So a lot has to do with who I'm going to see. If it's an expired, a past client,
Yes.
or someone that we circle dial and they're interviewing. But
Yes.
in this market, it's fair to say that everybody's interviewing several agents.
Yeah.
I don't even, everyone is. So,
Yes.
so I always, for me, ask how many people you're interviewing. What number am I? Because
Oh, I like that. What number am I?
and I will tell you why, because I want to be last, to be honest. But if it's okay if I'm first, I got to press harder to get the listing done.
Right.
We have a very high closure ratio on them. But for me, I ask because if they tell me, oh no, I have 2 people coming over, I have no more time until Saturday morning, I say, okay. But I'll tell them a little bit, ask them a lot of questions. They know I really care about their house and I'm being very thorough. I'll send an email out with a pre-listing package. I say, you gotta check out some stuff on our team, but you have to make me a promise. I know you're gonna get excited about a couple people, maybe 1, 2 people that you talk to, but do not sign before I come. It'll be a big mistake if you don't give me the opportunity to share. If you don't choose me, it's no problem. but wait till I get there. Because if you don't, they'll call, I just signed with the last agent, she was great.
Yeah.
So that way they kind of have an obligation to that.
Right.
And most of them will stick with it. And of course, if you go first, you tell them there's no need to talk to anybody
So
else.
we're here at the Phil Jones event. I'll give you one little adjustment. You're a master at scripts. It's, hey, can you do me a favor?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
People say yes, and they have. I'd say, could you give me all of your money? Right? Like just when you have a little rapport, and you're saying, hey, we're going to meet on Saturday, so we have enough rapport that I can say, Scott, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Hey, just promise me that you'll wait to meet with me before you choose your agent.
Can you do me a favor?
Okay.
Can you do me a favor?
No
Right?
problem.
I mean, we live in a world of this sort of like, I'm doing you service, you're willing to, you've been ingratiated to me to say yes.
Right.
So I would add that in, just watch the adjustment.
Do me a favor.
So
I like that.
you send a pre-listing package.
Yes.
Tell us what's in your pre-listing package.
So we have our marketing book digitally.
Mhm.
I do a bomb video, so because if it's expired and withdrawn, they kind of get to know me a little through that
Right.
video.
So stop there. What do you say in the bomb video?
Introduce myself, let them know what's below in the email.
Mhm.
We have some digital marketing, so we'll send the video so they can kind of look at that beforehand and they can formulate what questions they may have for us when we're there.
Good.
And then we also have, because we're a team and there aren't a lot of big teams in Vero Beach. And so I send an admin introduction video where they put together a video
As far as support.
of all the support they get in advance.
Smart.
So that's what we send beforehand.
So
And then
nice.
everyone-
Yeah, go ahead.
And then
Scott.
every once in a while, we'll put in like a lifestyle video of a home that's comparable to theirs that we've done.
Mhm.
So we always do the lifestyle videos on
Right.
on the houses.
The
Okay.
riverfront
So
or-
we're trying to get them to like us and kind of get wild ahead of time.
Yes.
And that way we can sit down with them and talk more about what their needs are and, how can we help them. And whether they look at it or not, we hope that they do. And most of the time they do.
Yes.
But then we can really get into their current situation. And then if there's anything about the marketing, then we can drill down into it during the listing appointment.
Do any of you pay attention to personality types when you're talking to these prospects? So like if they're like a high D, right, they're probably not going to watch a 4-minute lifestyle video.
Right.
But they might look and go, how many homes do they sell? And okay, right? So how do you adjust, or do you adjust your pre-listing package? And then we're going to get into the appointment in a minute. Before, if you identify this person's a high S or a high C or a high I, and they're just like, oh my God, I'm just so excited, we're really, what do you guys do?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go.
So I basically always talk to them before I send anything out, right? So when you're talking to someone, you can tell if they're to the point
Yeah.
or if they're super analytical. I send the same package no matter what.
Okay.
But I know if I'm talking to a real high D, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm sending some information over. Try to take a look at it. If not, we'll cover ground when we get there.
Yeah.
But at least they
try
know.
and take a look at it.
Yeah, because
I know
I
you're busy.
know they're probably not going to.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
Some of them you know.
Yes.
But it's okay. At least you have a professional email out and you have the appointment.
Right.
So.
Go ahead.
I like taking advantage of when we're at the listing, and this may not be what everyone does, but I like them showing me around the house. I'm seeing around the house, I'm seeing the things, but what I'm doing during that time, I'm learning what their needs are and what kind of people they are,
Yes.
what their personality type is, and what their hot buttons are. Very, very
Subtle.
conversation. Yes.
Yeah, very subtle.
And that way I know how to address all of their needs during, when we're setting down.
Right.
I wish we ran into more high Ds, but I don't run into very,
Yeah.
the high Ds in our market.
What's the one question you ask when you're looking through the house that maybe isn't so obvious?
Did you ask about the house? That's not
Or
obvious?
you just ask.
I mean, for me, the only thing that, like, I always, when I walk through the house, I never, and I have people tell me this, that they'll go through the house and point out problems. Like, that's not for the listing appointment. Like, you want to get the, I don't say
how much
did
I
you
think your
ever
home
think of
is a
fixing
mess.
this, or are you going to paint this? I don't say anything.
Yeah.
I just have a notepad and I take notes as I'm going through and I compliment the things that are great. I'm not asking anything else until I get to the appointment, we sign it, and then I'm going to ask more detail about that.
Got it.
If I'm in the right modality with the client, and I do, like a high D, I wouldn't ask this question, but the other ones I will, is like, what's your favorite room in this house?
Yeah.
And have them tell me about it. And then we're creating a relationship indirectly, right away.
Good.
So
Okay, so let's switch gears. I want to know, you're in the middle of your presentation, you are clearly competing with someone.
mhm.
Kathleen, what do you do to win?
Well, we try
You
to
were
cover.
such a former teacher. You write your notes. I love, for the person listening on audio, she was a teacher for a long time, and all teachers become phenomenal real estate agents. So you're looking at your notes, grab your notes, get them up close, and tell us.
Yeah.
What do you do to win in that uber competitive situation? Carolyn, coming to you next.
I think what we do, we have the laminated cards, which I got from Carolyn, but if they're gonna gloss over, that's not what they want. But we talk about, our Zillow referral partnership, the Google pay-per-click, what kind of money that we're spending.
Yeah.
But really, I think gaining rapport at the beginning and getting to know their needs, and then going into everything they want to know, like the pricing strategies, market, and just having everything there, like bringing everything to the table. And some of it you won't use, and some of it you will. So being over prepared.
So when you lose, why do you lose?
Well, we had So, sometimes it's commission.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We just had one. I mean, if it's okay, we just had one that we lost, and we went on it together. And we talked about the listing appointment afterwards and found out what went wrong or how we felt it went. And I was misunderstanding their question about commission, because we have a 6% if there was a co-broker and 5% if there was none. And he had like a question basically asking how did he get 5. I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So I basically repeated what it was. And so we missed it on commission. We would have done it at the 5% in this case.
Sure.
But we just missed it. So that was.
So it was a listening thing.
Yes.
And sort of the pressure.
And I was telling her, but the thing we learned, I'm like, next time, if you see where I'm stumbling, or I miss something, or vice versa, just say, are you looking for a 5% commission? That's what we'll do.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if we lose over commission. So I'm going to go to Carolyn with you. Pressure cooker moment of truth. Hey, a lot of agents we've met with all seem to sell a lot of houses, all have big personalities like you, all seem to do a lot of marketing. Why should we list with you?
So I guess once you do the listing presentation, you don't get that question.
Right.
That's what I think.
You don't.
Yeah.
Normal humans do.
But so this is the thing. If you get that question, you did not give enough value in the beginning.
Yes.
So when I go, I have the listing slides.
Yeah.
And so I'm always so excited about the opportunity to work with them and share what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I lay so much out that if they look at me and say, well, we have to decide who we're going to choose, I'm like, am I missing something here? Like, I don't know what else, what else are you looking for?
Right.
So, but there is,
So for context, the person that maybe, wasn't at the summit last year, has never heard you on one of my podcasts before. In 2020, how many listing appointments did you? I know that was a couple years ago, but just
so just to if you put it context of everything,
Right.
when I started coaching with you about 6 years ago, I was listing about 12 homes a year.
Yes.
And then when I went all in on expires, and then my big year before I really started growing the team, I went on 210 appointments and listed 197 by myself.
Yes.
So, but I would say for people that say, because I know when I first started doing it, Tom, honestly, my listing presentation was your 18 points that you have on the website.
Right.
That was my listing presentation with a generic folder. Right. That's what I did.
Right.
But so was I as good in the beginning? No. But if you go on more, like if you're a new agent and you want 2 listings a month, 2 listing presentations to your mother, your brother, yourself in the mirror.
Exactly.
Just keep doing it until
Refine
you get
the
it.
presentation.
You get it,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Because sometimes you just go and they're just ready to sign, and you don't have to call expires. And you don't have listings. Call around
Any lead.
a
house,
house
client.
that just
Yes.
sold in your office.
Yeah.
You can call around that listing.
Right.
Like there's always people to call. Like
Yes.
it's just it's not that hard to get a couple
Yes.
of them.
And Caroline, on the listing presentation, I find that the internalizing it, like the agents are super internalizing, because in order to practice it, you have to internalize it. And if they internalize it, then it's just second nature in presenting it, because then that's all you're doing is presenting it. And it's like fun.
Yes.
It's not
Yes.
stressful.
Yes. If you want a copy, Karen, if they want a copy of your slides,
Sure, just shoot me an email or
Okay.
go to Carolyn Young Team
Yep.
on Instagram, send a message, and I'm happy to send it out. It's not a
you
problem.
can get several thousand of those requests.
Yeah.
But what's cool about this, and again, knowing the story, because our gal up in Canada.
Yeah, Jackie.
Jackie.
Yeah. I got it from Jackie.
So
Oaken.
Jackie
Yeah.
stood up one day
And I've
when
given
we
it
were
to
in New
hundreds
York
of
City, and she was
people.
like,
Yeah.
I just laminated all these slides. So basically she took, just for you, think about this,
I know.
listening, she took everything that she would present as a degree of separation, as a service to her client, as a way that she attracts buyers, as a way that she stages, as the way that she does her transactions, the way she does client care, the way she does communication. And she converted into like 35 laminated slides. And then she pushes them in front of the client and says, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. And obviously I'm doing the fast version of that. You took that thing, put it on steroids, you R&D'd it.
I spread it up all over the table, and I loved when you like dropped everything and during one of the.
That's presenting.
There's just so much that I'm doing,
But,
right?
you know,
It's just like all over.
But you know, in all
Yes.
fairness,
Yes.
for anybody starting out or anybody that's experienced, the number one question when you walk into a listing and you sit down with someone, the number one question is, thank you so much for having me over. Tell me, what are you hoping to achieve for our meeting today?
Yeah.
Because if they say, I want to know your commission, you better lay out your value. If
Right.
they say, when can you get the photos, or
Time.
how are you different?
Timing, yeah, let's
How
go.
are you different than other agents? Or, our market's real competitive because everything has 5, 10, 15 contracts on it, and
Right.
it's
It's crazy.
So it's real competitive. So you just have to know what they want so you know what to deliver.
I like asking an opening question like that as well. Mine's a little different. It's just, let me know any questions you may have. Like right up front, I hate going through the whole presentation and they've got a burning question.
Right.
Yeah.
What's most important to you?
Yeah.
What do you guys
Yeah.
want to accomplish tonight?
Right. I
Love
think
it.
that's key.
So Kathleen, as we wrap this up, you've been a real estate agent for 8 years. How long were you a teacher?
24 years.
24 years. And what did I say when you walked in?
That teachers are great real estate agents.
Because they can
They're
manage
successful.
26 to
Chaos.
30 kids simultaneously, endless amounts of details, kindergartners. I'm like, I knew you were going to kill it. Yeah, and parents, right? 8 years in the business, 4 years as a buyer's agent, now transitioning to a listing agent. Give us one thing you had to do in the very beginning to transition from a buyer's agent to a listing agent that made you successful today.
As mindset.
Tell us.
It was my mindset. I felt like I couldn't do it. And as soon as I just jumped in and did it, and I am a teacher, so I studied Caroline, I studied your podcast. And once I just had it in my mindset, I came from a place of service rather than this is a presentation. Because I used to just throw up on people and talk about myself.
Yes.
And now asking questions, being curious, and coming from a place to help them, especially the expireds and withdrawals.
In your schedule, I saw you like night and day change your schedule, and her morning routine really starts the night routine.
Yes.
And so that was a game changer to her. And then it was fun when we very first, for agents that are out there that have ever been on a dialer, threw her on a dialer on expired. And she's like, this is crazy. She was nervous at first.
We didn't know how to use
she's
it.
like,
or
this
press the button.
is crazy. It's like being at the batting cages.
Just bang, bang, bang. Yes.
But yeah, it's just throwing yourself into it and just doing it, do the thing, and don't make excuses, just pick up the phone.
I love that phrase, do the thing. Have the
Make
power.
contacts,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Scott, hardest part about transitioning from being the top listing agent on the team, and same partial question for you, to now handing over the reins and saying, Kathleen, you go on the appointments. What was the hardest part, and how'd you get over it?
It started with my mindset, but then I learned, I talked to a bunch of people and they told me these complicated ways of doing it.
Yeah.
I had 20 or so impending, and I'm like, on a Tuesday, I'm not doing it. And then that forced the action. And then as soon as I got a lead, I don't care if they're my past client, been with me for 10 years, then I would give it over to Kathleen or Jason or another team member that was on the team.
With an intelligent handoff from the client.
Very, very
Yes.
smooth. And I would even, if they were super close with me, I'd be with them.
Yeah.
And then like talk the agent up, and then where the things that I do in the background to support them.
Yes.
And so just doing it blind faith and just kind of burning, what's it called? Burning the boat.
Yeah.
burning
the
So
boat.
it was now I can do more living vicariously through them than
Yes.
I could all by myself.
For sure. Scale it myself.
And he comes on the listing appointments if if it's a good fit. And that's really nice to see the team, part of the team, that
Yes.
we really are a true team.
Right.
And it's not just me saying we're a team.
Yes.
Right. I love the sales component of it. So
Yes.
I don't think I'll ever be out of the sales side.
Yes. All right. The person that has 2 to 4 listing appointments a month right now, and they want to go to 8 to 10, what do they have to do?
Pick up the phone.
Like,
I'm now getting memed with people like, Tom Ferry keeps telling me to pick up the phone, and then they show themselves like dancing around the office instead. Please don't do that. Or do it. It's kind of funny. Make sure you tag me.
I mean,
So what does it mean, pick up the phone?
It's just that real estate is, and it's becoming more and more competitive.
Yes.
And you're not going to sit there and wait for the low-hanging fruit to
No.
fall on your lap.
No.
You have got to pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you want to call your friends, your clients, if you want to circle dial, if you want to call expireds, if you want to call, but if you don't call people,
Yes.
you're not
If you
going to
don't
get
engage.
appointments.
Yeah.
I want to steal something you and I were talking about a while back ago when if someone has a $200,000 a year job,
Mhm.
they have to come to work.
Right.
You
Right.
can't just say, I don't
Right.
feel good today.
Right. I don't feel like making my
Or-
doing
My
the
mindset's
work
not right.
today, or building my software. Yes.
Or the worst is that
Yeah.
people will say, and I hear this from new agents even on the team when they start, is I tried it and it didn't work. You did what? You made 20 calls and you didn't get a listing, so now make 500 and tell me how it works out. So
Right.
it's more to get better.
Yes. People dramatically underestimate the volume of work, right? The velocity that you have to create, the momentum you have to create, the amount of work you have to do to achieve the things you want to achieve, right? You can't make calls 2 days a week and complain that you're not being successful. And none of us said cold call. I mean, you could call around listings and sales, but I wouldn't even call that cold. I'm doing a value add to the service. Hey, did you hear about your neighbor? They just got 4 offers on their property.
Right.
Oh my goodness, you know what this means to your home value? Like that is a service call in the community versus like a straight cold call, I guess.
That's
Anyway,
right.
the point is work ethic trumps everything in this environment.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got to wrap. Kathleen, you're snapping
gonna
your finger
say-
there. Talk to us.
Do the hard things first.
Yes.
Do your calls first.
Yes.
Otherwise you'll avoid it for the rest.
And you put it in your schedule, and that's clearly worked out. How many homes are you going to sell this year?
70.
70? You realize how good that is?
It's not as good as last year, but
Yeah. All right. Well, in fairness, we're sitting here in 2023. Real estate's only about 2 things: cycles and population growth.
right?
Population
That's all
growth continues to boom. We're always going to be fine, but we're just in a high interest rate, low inventory environment. So if you're slightly off and selling 70 homes in a year and complaining, someone on this podcast wants to punch you in the head. Someone's like, I'm going to sell 7, you're selling 70. I'm going to smack her. All right, said with love. Said with love. Okay, so what did you receive from this? What did you hear? What did you get? Follow every one of them. They're all going to be on Instagram. You can see it all. If you're listening to this, hey, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Who else do you want us to interview? What else can we continue to deliver you more value? Thanks so much for watching and listening. Listening? Now, here. I'll see you soon. Thanks.